because I just said this issue of Iran, people are just Israel, US, they are just hell bent on not allowing Iran to secure Iran's case. I think I can understand their own fear about Iran because Iran has vowed to wipe Israel off. So if the moment they acquire nuclear weapon, Israel will be the first. Okay, that's understandable. Then what about other countries? North Korea, okay, North Korea's own again is a little bit understandable. The president wants to use that weapon to actually protect himself. It's kind of security for himself. It's sort of, but what about other countries? Japan and other countries, some countries that you can consider to that are supposed to be world superpower, but they are not rated to be that, be just for regulation purpose or reason rather. Barrister, what do you think? What do you think is the reason behind this world superpowers not allowing the lower powers to acquire what they have? They acquire. China has nuclear weapon. US has nuclear weapon. In fact, US has about 200 and something nuclear weapons. Russia do the same thing. They are competing with the US. I think as of today now, Russia has even Russia has passed the US. Russia is the highest now.
200. It's not 200. Russia has about almost 6,000 nuclear weapons.
Good.
US has
because
about
I remember that their own is higher than yours.
4,000 and something.
4,000 and something. Now I don't know why are they allowing those all those ones? They themselves they are just building these nuclear weapons. The others lower powers they're just muzzling them, coercing them to submission. But what is the problem here? What is the cause or the reason?
Well, you have to go back to the beginning of the nuclear arms race.
Yes.
When the US first exploded the atomic bomb in Japan, and then the Soviet Union followed up with that. Eventually, China. We have about 5 countries that are confirmed nuclear powers. At the very earliest stage, it was recognized that this kind of power had to be controlled. And there are good reasons for it. The destructive power of nuclear weapons is such that it has to be regulated and controlled. So right from the beginning, it was understood that if there was proliferation of nuclear weapons, the risk to a nuclear conflict or an accident would increase. You have powers, US, UK, China, Russia, and later countries like India, Pakistan, who are now,
you can imagine Pakistan has that's surprising to
Israel and others, North Korea, others trying to. So there has been a non-proliferation treaty so that you do not give your nuclear secrets or nuclear formulas to any country. There is a treaty signed already not to allow other countries to develop this for the sake of the fact that, one, third world countries, for instance, they are unstable. They don't have a stable constitutional government. You have military interventions. You have rogue regimes coming. If such countries come into possession of nuclear weapons, only God knows what will happen. A hot-headed military officer taking power in a third world country, nobody can predict what will happen. So there was good reason to try to stop the proliferation of this dangerous and extremely destructive power. At the same time, there is also some selfish reasons to it. The possessor of nuclear weapons has some advantages. It has power over others who do not have. So when you have power like that, you don't want to surrender, you don't want to expand the power. You don't, it's like a person who discovered a money-making machine. Do you think he will want other people to have it? He will not. He wants to have that exclusive power.
Right.
So the same power, the same nuclear weapons that these people have, they use it to oppress others in terms of military force. So they do not want to share it with others. Other countries that eventually had nuclear weapons, India, in response to the conflict between India and Pakistan, made it possible. You know, they have fought 2 wars.
Yes.
Made it possible for them, not just between India and Pakistan, India and China. You know, India has a boundary with China.
China, yeah.
And they are also enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And China has nuclear weapons. So India had to do everything to also acquire. And on the other side, they were facing another.
So my point, Barrister, sorry to cut you short. My point is, where was these superpowers when they allowed Pakistan, allowed India to acquire, and why will they acquire? And you've not answered that question. Okay, you've answered partly, but my point is, these are sovereign nations. Why will you bring up a treaty and sign a treaty that just favors just you alone and cuts off other countries from doing this? You people have done this, and since you signed this treaty, you have won. Since they signed this treaty, US increasing their arsenal, their nuclear arsenal. Russia, you just mentioned it. They used to compete with Russia. They used to have one round. Because I'm surprised that honestly, I've not had that. I've not had that latest of 6,000 nuclear weapon that Russia has now. Is shocking to me. I never had. The last time I read about this issue was they were competing with the US, a sort of. So now, since this treaty, they have these people. China is building even more right now. Russia is building more right now. US, I think they want to even increase their own, because Donald Trump recently talked about it sometime last 2 weeks. He talked about it too because others are trying to. Why are they muzzling others from the rest other countries, the lower powers, from doing the same thing? What kind of this is bullying?
The fact is that even within the nuclear power, there are some limitations. They have other treaties, nuclear test treaties, nuclear test ban treaties, so that you are not allowed to test certain new nuclear weapons. Those treaties exist between Russia and United States. There are certain type of weapons that are classified as too destructive. So they have put a limit and a ban. The treaties have been signed. You will not test them. We will not test them. There's a time that US withdrew from one of the treaties. There's a time that Russia withdrew from one of those test ban treaties. Now, some countries that because of the geopolitics of the world, a country like North Korea has acquired weapons. Where did it acquire? From China and Russia, using China and Russian technology within themselves. They are able to. You know the problem facing North Korea and South Korea.
Yes.
As we speak, American troops in their thousands are camped in South Korea facing North Korea, and the history from the war between the North and South. So it became inevitable. Those people feel that if they should acquire those nuclear weapons, they will have an edge over their opponent. So in secret and in not so secret, using their connections with China and Russia, they were able to put up to have their nuclear weapons. The case of Pakistan is even more more intriguing, because Western powers assisted them to get their nuclear weapons.
That's my point, for God's sake.
In Pakistan. That's why I say his case is more intriguing, because it's the same Western powers that assisted Pakistan.
Honestly, the entire system is rigged.
As a counterweight to India, because India has always presented a problem to the United States. So they assisted Russia. Even Israel assisted in Pakistan's nuclear program. Ironically,
honestly, I don't know why. Honestly, this whole thing is rigged. It's completely rigged. It's because it doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, if I were I hate Iran. That's not the truth. I mean, on the truth is I hate Iran because you can't just vow to wipe a whole nation or an entire race off the earth, the earth. It doesn't work. But in reality, but just to be fair, honestly, if I were Iran, honestly, I'll pursue the same because just like North Korea, they want to get this for security purpose. Some of them, especially this North Korean man, of course, he's not going to use it, but he just wants to secure his presidency. He wants to secure because he knows that CIA, he's a number one target for CIA to take him off. So that is just that take him out rather. That is just the reality. So he's trying to use that weapon as a protection because they know that if he has that weapon, he can any dying man can actually use such a weapon. The moment you just mentioned that Africans we have very low tolerance for resistance. So when a man is dying and is at the juncture of being captured or being arrested or whatever or being dethroned, such person in a desperate situation can actually decide to just kill everyone. Since he's dying, he will just really. I agree with you. And probably someone like that is why this man he wants to acquire such weapon because nobody will want to kill him or attempt to dethrone him. So honestly, if I were a nation like Nigeria, for instance, honestly, if we had the capacity, if I'm a leader, or let me even assume, okay, assuming I'm the leader of Nigeria, honestly, I will pursue that. I'm telling you.
I don't even go there. Don't even mention Nigeria in that
No,
in
we
that.
don't. Of course, we don't have what it takes.
I'm coming to that. Remember, in the US, for a long time there was a debate that US could actually win a nuclear war against Russia. So this debate was well known. There were many in the military establishment who believed that the US could win a nuclear war over Russia. And Russia knew of this. So they also had to step up their nuclear deterrent. It is supposed to be a deterrent. If you know that you attack me with nuclear weapons and I will retaliate massively,
yeah,
you are deterred. So it's supposed to be a point of deterrence. But every country has to be taken on its own. If you come to Iran, Iran has made public statements repeatedly that they prepare to wipe out Israel if they have the weapons.
Yeah, that's my problem.
They didn't stop there. They gave a rationalization that look, Israel is a small country. We are Muslims and Muslims are played. Even if Israel retaliates and destroys us, we would have destroyed Israel, but other Muslim countries will remain. So that was their rationale. That if we have it, we will use it. So for Israel, it is an existential problem for Iran to have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that one is understandable, actually.
A country like North Korea, it is the respect that we attract and the deterrence.
Yes, deterrence, actually.
The regime that they are looking at. Now, so you have to take it from country to... When the Pakistan bomb came, it was dubbed the Islamic bomb because no other Islamic country had had a nuclear weapon. So the Muslim countries tried to rally around Pakistan as an umbrella, as a deterrence. But because of the way they got the technology and the bomb, principally from the West, they act with caution and they do not give any appearance of using it on a religious, on a reckless religious basis. We in Nigeria, we used to have a nuclear reactor in Zaria. Are you aware of that?
No, I wasn't.
We used to have a nuclear reactor in ABU Zaria. It was separated from the main campus. A special area was created for it, and a nuclear reactor was installed, ostensibly for research. Now, under pressure from the United States government, I think about 10 or 15 years back, they came and removed the nuclear reactor and paid Nigeria a lot of money. So Nigeria agreed, and the nuclear reactor was lifted. I remember when they came, they brought a lot of technicians from outside to dismantle the reactor and take it out of the country. A country like Nigeria, with our recklessness, with our negligence, if you have that, it's a
Honestly,
recipe for
yes.
terrible, terrible disaster
I agree with you because
will
yes,
happen.
yes,
If
the
you recall
criminals will
the
find their way
if you
to it.
recall the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, even the U.S. has had nuclear accident without being reported on the 3 Mile Island. Go and research it. They had a nuclear meltdown on Three Mile Island, but they did not report it to the public. So it is something that if you do not have the technical ability to install, maintain, and operate, you should not even consider it.
Not just technical abilities, but actually temperamental abilities.
Exactly, exactly. The maturity to even have handle something as dangerous as that.
Yes, because
If it was, look, if that nuclear reactor was there at the height of Boko Haram, they may have
yes,
decided, they
yeah,
may
that's
have
why I said
arranged
with,
to
with
come
Nigeria
and
with this.
attack it
Yes, in Nigeria,
with devastating consequences.
yes, this kind of system we have, honestly, they could have the criminals could have had their way to that weapon. And that would have been very, very deadly. Anyway, yes, in the Nigerian war, I understand that, but honestly, if I were those countries that can afford it, those either in the Western or the Eastern nations, or the Mid Eastern nations or whatever that can afford it and whatever, just like Saudi Arabia. Honestly, I will go ahead and call everyone's bluff. I'm telling you. And because this issue of bullying, US and other superpowers, bullying the lower powers from doing what they are doing, it's
And
just it's not unfair.
I think you know that when the Soviet Union broke up in 1991, Ukraine had so many nuclear weapons. The US and Western powers had to prevail on them, pay them a lot of money to dismantle those nuclear weapons that were on Ukraine soil. Today, Ukraine is regretting that
And they regret, of course. I read it,
if
but
they
honestly, they
had
are
the
regretting
nuclear
it now.
weapons, the
Yes, we
war
wouldn't have. Yes, of course, they are
would not have
regretting it now.
happened.
Anyway, thank you so very much, Barrister. Again, so impressive. All these things they discuss. I didn't you were not aware of it. I didn't send you the topics. I just viewers, honestly, this is who Barrister Manta is. That's why he's just the best. That is just the best, honestly. Whatever topic. I've had this experience with him several. That's why I decided to do it this because he's such a person that is well read, very vast in virtually every. When you say when you call learner, when lawyers call themselves learned colleague, or when they refer to themselves as being learned, Barrister Manta is a personification. It's an epitome of that word or that word, honestly, because I've met so many lawyers who don't know that much. They call them later. Sometimes some of them I even make jest of them. But Samantha knows every whatever topic you bring or whatever, no matter in whatever field, he will just really, really dissect it in a very, very articulate way. Barrister, thank you so very much
Thank you for
for
the program.
all right, viewers. See you again next time. Remain blessed.